Hello and welcome to Stats Behind the Transfer. In this episode we look at the movement of a Uruguayan forward joining the Premier League with great expectations for his new club Liverpool. Darwin Nunez, or Darwin Gabriel Nunez Ribeiro to give him his full name, makes his move in the 2022-23 summer transfer window, switching to Portuguese Primeira Liga and Benfica for England and Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. A fee was rumoured to be in the region of £85 million, including add-ons, for the Uruguayan, who becomes Liverpool's main signing of the window. A player who at 22 has exciting talent and a strong goal-scoring record, not just in Portugal but also in European competition. At 23 years of age, Darwin Nunez has been on the radar of European scouts for quite some time, as his reputation continued to enhance with impressive performances for Benfica. He's made 2 consecutive season appearances for the Portuguese side after signing from Spanish club Almeria in the Spanish transfer window of 2020. Already a Uruguayan international, Nunez has made 11 appearances for his country, making his debut in 2019 against Peru, where he scored within 5 minutes off the bench in his introduction. He has since added a second international goal, which he scored in World Cup qualifier for Uruguay against Colombia in 2020. Now overall he's made 159 appearances for all clubs, scoring a total of 68 goals at an impressive rate of 0.49 goals per match played, effectively scoring a goal once every 2 matches. His shot on target ratio of 46.6% over his career so far is very strong, with last season seeing his ratio rise to over 51%. That's more than 1 of every 2 shot attempts from Nunez hitting the target. In the 2021-2022 season just gone, Darwin Nunez had an emphatic scoring campaign for Benfica and by far the best of his career, with 34 goals scored in 41 matches, with 26 of these coming in the Portuguese top flight. That earned Nunez the league top goalscorer award, outscoring second place Mehdi Taremi of Porto by 6 goals. His shots on target percentage shows a strong increase last campaign from his previous season's exploits, which saw a 7% decrease from the 2019-2020 season. I will show how it sits with new Liverpool teammates shortly, but just for perspective, against Europe's best, it's Nunez coming out on top. Robert Lewandowski hit 49% shots on target in the Bundesliga, where Erling Haaland recorded 42%, while in La Liga in Spain, Karim Benzema was just above 40%. Now of course the quality of the Portuguese league in comparison has to be considered, and when you look at Premier League figures, forwards are often more intently closed down and pressed defensively, so surely Nunez will see this rate fall. So Harry Kane is at 39% and Cristiano Ronaldo at 36% last season, for example. In a season which included 3 hat-tricks for Nunez, his goals scored per 90 actually topped a goal every game, with 1.18 goals scored per 90. Way up from his very modest 0.30 per game in the season before. His strong attacking display last season saw Darwin Nunez rank very impressively in the 97th percentile for goals which didn't include penalties. In a season where Benfica finished 3rd in the Portuguese league for the 2nd successive season, they actually picked up 2 less points than the campaign before. But with Nunez involved, their points per match was higher, as he proved to be such a vital goal scorer for them last term. His improvement between the 2 seasons has been dramatic in terms of both goals and attacking statistics, doubling his accuracy of his strikes last season when compared with the 2020-2021 season. Looking at the assists, it's clear Darwin Nunez moving to the striking role at Benfica saw a change in his mentality also. As he exceeded as a deadly finisher, he saw his assist numbers drop on the previous campaign. His career best assist total of 9 was more than double his last season, but does show he has the capability also within his game to provide creator as well as finisher. Moving on, we start looking at how he compares with the current Liverpool squad, and it's certainly a tall order for any incoming attacker when you look at that quality. Although seeing the startling introduction of how quickly Luis Diaz adapted to the Premier League, it's certainly setting a very high bar for any new incoming player. Now Diaz was very strong in his passing accuracy in his half season with Liverpool, with Salah, Firmino and Mane all pushing towards 80% of the passes completed mark. Even Diogo Jota on 75% is some way higher than the 67% of Nunez with Benfica. Now Benfica of course play a completely different way, and the role of Nunez in that team is likely to be a stark switch to that of Jurgen Klopp's demands. But certainly a high turnover of possession will not be tolerated, and an area of the Uruguayan's game that Klopp and his coaching staff will want to develop. It's also worth considering, however, a stat that I found from FBref.com, where they collate a metric relating to progressive ball carrying. Now, Nunez' total of 5.41 progressive carries per 90 relates to moving the ball forward more than 5 yards and includes carrying the ball into the penalty area, where they place him in the 91 percentile of all players from the top 6 leagues, which obviously shows Nunez to be a very front-footed, positive attacker, willing to move with the ball at his feet. The top in this category? Well, of course, Kylian Mbappe, with a ridiculous 9.84 progressive carries per 90. At Benfica, Darwin Nunez was one of the leading men up top alongside Rafa. But Rafa was playing as more of a wide player with more focus on creation as much as anything. So we look at a comparison with the outgoing man, Sadio Mane, and ask, how do they match up against each other on last season's stats? Now this relates to only the Champions League games to try and give a better comparison against a similar level of opposition. Mane of course played more games in Liverpool's run to the final, while Nunez made multiple appearances from the bench for Benfica. However, the Uruguayan still outscored the man from Senegal with 6-5 and with an excellent output of 0.88 goals per 90 in the Champions League. Mane only picked up a single assist to 0 from Nunez, and the outgoing Liverpool attacker just pipped Nunez in the shots per 90 attempted. But it was Nunez who reigned supreme with regards to accuracy, recording over a shot per game on target and over 7% higher in his shot on target percentage compared to Mane. Now the final stat relates to WhoScored.com, who apply their rating algorithm to all players in the Champions League and other competitions, with Nunez only slightly coming out on top with a 6.92. It's worth mentioning both FBref.com and WhoScored.com are excellent places to check out their websites if you want to delve deeper into the stats. To give further context among the Liverpool squad, I've included a comparison against the 4 attackers who played most for Liverpool last season. These stats are relating to their league performances, so the man off to Bayern Munich and Sadio Mane, his stats will differ from the last comparison that we just showed. The table also includes top goal scorer Mo Salah, new sensation Luis Diaz, as well as another Portuguese talent Diogo Jota. Goal scoring wise, Darwin Nunez actually outscored Salah in league matches, but doing it in the Premier League is of course a whole different kettle of fish to in Portugal. His goals per 90 is insane at 1.16 when you consider how phenomenal Salah is with his 0.75 rating. Jota was next best with 0.57, while Mane's 0.51 still represented a total of 16 goals in all. Luis Diaz was not as prolific in terms of goals and assist ratings, but was certainly influential in the attacking movement of Liverpool in the second half of the season, and the goals that he did score were at crucial moments. Salah tops the assists per 90, with him and Luis Diaz outperforming their XG. Unfortunately, I don't have the data for Nunez, but you can see what kind of levels that he's aiming for. A key indicator of shot consistency, however, is shots on target, with Nunez way ahead again on this list, but we again have to consider the league difference. But the remainder of Liverpool's attack are actually remarkably close to each other in this stat, with over 35% sitting very well in comparison with other attackers in the league. Now we are going to revert to a slightly different take as we consider how the Football Manager game views Nunez in the recent 2022 edition, with attributes totalling out of 20. Nunez is rated good in all attacking attributes in a variety of striking roles. His particular strengths sit in the mental attributes, relating to his work rate, teamwork and aggression, all key aspects of the Jurgen Klopp press. He backs this up with pace and acceleration, as well as stamina being his best physical attributes. Technically, he does fall short in comparison with the current Liverpool team, as he's only seen as a squad player at Benfica in the game, but I would expect to see a big overhaul and reassessment for FM23 following his move. In the Liverpool squad, he is certainly up against some of the best players in the world, and for that reason he is rated as a squad player, but with still with room for improvement. He possesses the player traits of looking to beat the offside trap and knocking the ball past the opponent. His 3-star ability, based as a Benfica player, is coupled with a full star of potential to reach, so we'll keep an eye out how he performs in the next iteration of the game. The big question with Darwin Nunez is where will Jurgen Klopp look to fit him in? In all likelihood, he will be the central striker in Liverpool's front three, with Mo Salah on the right hand side and Luis Diaz on the left, as was predominantly the case in his last 2 seasons with Benfica, with the 2020-21 PRIMEIRA Liga seeing Nunez as purely a striker. You would expect Diogo Jota and Roberto Firmino to be secondary, but Jota in particular will likely see large runs in the team in the upcoming season. The storming early impact of Luis Diaz will be one Nunez will be hoping to replicate, as Liverpool evolve with their front three following the departure of Sadio Mane. Thank you for watching this episode of Stats Behind the Transfer. Please drop us a like and let us know your thoughts on the transfer in the comments. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell not to miss our upcoming content. Take care, and I hope to catch you next time.